You missed us?
I can't say that has been like my withdrawals have been through interviews, but a little bit, sure.
It's been like Taysom's always been tough for you, but you talk about the experience of being on the sidelines and just watching the team.
Yeah, it's a tough situation, and my mentality is just trying to make the most of a difficult situation, and I feel like for the most part I have. As far as being on the sideline and being with the team, it was fun to see them. I've been with the team before, I've spoken to them, and my words were basically, look, I want to see all you guys succeed. I want to see you guys do really well, and so I'm your biggest cheerleader. So I hope that I was able to help in that way, just let them know that I'm there to support them.
On the night that you were injured, what do you remember from that? Did you know right away that this kind of severity of the injury?
I remember the play. I remember thinking that hey, I just broke my leg, and so when it happened, I immediately reached down, grabbed my leg out of pain, and then walked off the field. And then as they were examining me, I finally just told them, I was like, look, Steve, our trainer, like, I'm pretty sure it's broken. And so at that point, we put it in the air cast, went x-rayed it, and sure enough.
So how's your progress coming? Is it on track? Just how are you doing now?
Everything's good. It's we have schedules because of the surgery and time frames and everything. Everything's on time. Everything looks really good.
How tough was it emotionally just having been there before? Had to go through this?
In comparison to the last one, this one's been a little easier to manage, I would say. I'm married, and so I think that has given me a different perspective. And then I'm also in my major. I'm in the junior core of the finance program right now. So I think in light of all those things, it helped give me perspective on life and realize that as much as I love to play football, football was always going to be a means to an end, right? And hopefully my career is long, but again, it's a means to an end. So
after it happened, Bronco described it as shredding ligaments and maybe worse than originally thought. Was it really that bad?
I've never heard my injury been described as shredding ligaments.
I think he used the word shredded.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I don't know if I would use that word, but I broke the bone and had a little ligament damage. But I wouldn't say that I shredded ligaments and had to bring other ligaments in to replace those. It was nothing like that.
Just sounds better, I guess.
I don't know.
I mean, not for you.
Yeah.
You got a name for this thing?
I don't know. I'm trying to get rid of this thing as soon as I can, but it's been a close second to walking, so it's been efficient.
Talked to Christian, and he said that he's been happy that you haven't tried to be another quarterback or whatever, just been there to support him. What's that been like, watching him perform and him being out there as the quarterback? What I alluded to earlier, as far as being their biggest cheerleaders, wanting to see them succeed. Christian's a good friend of mine, and so when I said that, in particular, I would say I was talking to Christian. I know the situation he's in, and I know that he's worked hard, and he's been through a lot to be the starting quarterback here, and he's deserved it. So if I felt like there was some areas that he was lacking as far as knowing the playbook or in personnel and stuff like that, then I would say, hey, I'll come in and help in a more significant role than I have. But he's been prepared, and he's a smart guy and knows the offense, and you guys have seen that. So I've just been there to support and help him when I can.
Is your plan to come back for your senior season, or has that decision not been made yet?
That's the plan, yeah.
When do you plan on returning? Are you be there for spring camp or for fall camp next year? What's the
it's a 6-month process, so we'll just kind of evaluate as it comes. I'm sure that I'll be able to have some sort of role in spring ball. I don't think it'll be, full contact team stuff when that stuff's going on. But again, we don't know.
That's pretty decisive. Did the thought ever enter your mind that I'm just going to move on to pro football, did you weigh that at all?
I feel like all this conversation has been a media thing, right? And I've had conversations about it and stuff like that, but one of the things, right, is there's more to life than football, and I'm going to graduate inside the finance program next December, and for a lot of reasons it doesn't make sense to leave, and something that I'm still continuing to look into, and I'll see what happens, but as of right now, that's where I stand.
I've heard that that's a pretty intense program. Been a lot of work you've had to put into that. Has it been, I don't know, a benefit scholastically to be able to zero in on that program and what you're doing now?
From the standpoint of right now, it's been nice because I've had more time, but going through surgery, I missed classes and I missed a week of class, so in that sense it was more difficult to manage. But my professors were really good, and before my surgery and before the injury, I was on schedule with everything. I was doing well in the program and staying on top of it, so that was helped me to manage everything when I did break the leg.
After your injury, the team's problems were, a lot of people thought, more mental than even physical because of, some said, the leadership void that you had provided. What did that kind of mean to you, just from afar, seeing that?
I don't know. I mean, I want to see the team succeed. So we lost a few games there in a row, and that was difficult to see. And a lot of people will say that it's because you got injured and stuff, but no one really knows, right? I do like to think that I add value to the team in more ways than just my performance on the field. But I miss the guys, and I've had conversations with a lot of them, and I think that I was missed in that role as well. But I don't know. I mean, it's nice to feel needed and wanted, and I felt that just from a friendship and coach's standpoint as well.
Did you talk to Coach Manning, or Dr. Manning, about the psychological maybe recovery process of this at all, or is this because it's the second time it's happened you feel like you got a handle on it?
Not really. He reached out to me, and I've seen him since, but I mean, he was worried, right, of where injuries can put a player mentally, and having gone through it and the things that I alluded to earlier, being married, being in the finance program, I was able to turn my attention and focus to primarily, academics, right? So I wasn't able to compete on the field, but I was able to compete in the classroom. So I just turned my attention and focus there. And then now it's been about 6.5 weeks since surgery. My rehab is starting to become a little bit more intense, and I can do a little bit more. So my attention and focus has turned to that as well.
There was talk that you were running too much and all that before the injury. Do you attribute the injury to that, or is it just a fluke thing that just could have happened?
Well, I think at the end of the day, it was a fluke thing, right? That could have happened to anybody. And I think there are some things that could be said to, I was being exposed for the sheer amount of plays that we run doing the no huddle and hurry up offense, and then the amount of carries that I was taking. So I think that there's conversation that could be had there. So I think in many ways I've thought about both criteria as you mentioned, but at the end of the day, it's football, right? And I know every day when I put the helmet on and strap up that there's likelihood that I could get injured. Going forward, though, I would like to do everything that I can to minimize that risk.
When being out of football helps you to kind of have appreciation for football, coming back next season, given the experience these players have, how excited are you to be a part of this program next year?
Yeah, I'm extremely excited. I love BYU. I don't think that my mentality or mindset is any different from years in the past. I'll work as hard as I can from here and throughout the season. and excited to be part of it. And I've seen the schedule as you guys have, and I'm excited to be part of that and to have the opportunity to showcase what we as a team can do and what I can do personally on a national venue against teams that are well known throughout the country.
Taysom, talk a little bit about the seniors that you won't get to play with again that are leaving this year.
Yeah, it's tough. I think a lot of the conversations that I've had have been, or maybe more intimate conversations that I've had with players have been with the seniors, knowing that I'm not going to have the opportunity to play with those guys again, and the basis of that conversation has been, I'm grateful for your example, for your friendship, and your hard work, right, and for all the memories that we've been able to create together this year, and sort of like I wish you the best of luck going forward, and this is a friendship that will last for a long time.
Thanks, Taysom.
Thanks.
Thanks for coming up.
No worries.